Welcome to another episode of That's Some Crazy Shit with Kelly and James. You know who I am, and my co-host is Mr. James.
And you know who I am because I'm always Mr. James.
Always Mr.
Always.
James. Always. So, Mr. James, we have a guest today, and we have a guest that actually used to do their own paranormal radio talk show in the past.
Right on.
And bring us cool stories. His name is Ron Mills, and he used to host a show called The Chosen.
That's pretty good.
Very similar to Coast to Coast.
Oh, and that's how I started learning stuff coast to coast back in the day with Art Bell.
Yep, very similar, and his show is called The Chosen, and he wanted to come on the podcast and share some of his experiences and stories from when he was host of this radio show. Paranormal radio show.
Oh, right on. He's kind of kindred spirit.
Yeah. So
Right,
I just thought we'd get right to it.
Well, let's just do it then.
All right. Welcome to the podcast, radio talk show host of The Chosen, Ron Mills. Ronnie, thank you so much for being a part of That's Some Crazy Shit and coming on the podcast. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So when we had initially interviewed you to talk about being a guest and all the things that you talked about, the UFOs, it really kind of piqued our interest. That's just right up our alley. And so just, let's just jump right in and kind of tell us, what you bring to the podcast.
Well, I have a history. I did it for 5 years at paranormal, a show on Talktainment Radio called The Chosen. It started with a group of people, and then it ended up just me, which I was glad of because I wanted to be guest driven, just like Coast to Coast AM. I'm a fan of Coast to Coast AM, so I wanted to be guest driven, and I just wanted to know what they knew, how they knew it, hear their story, let the audience judge,
Mm-hmm.
let the audience judge. I never thought anybody being kooks or something like that, but I just wanted the audience to judge everybody's story. I remember my first guest was Howard Storm. Was it? Yeah, I think it's Howard Storm. Yeah. He had wrote the book, My Descent into Death and Hell or something like that. He went to hell. He died overseas of peritonitis or something, and I think it was in the 70s, and he did not believe in anything. So he told his story when he came back from wherever he was. He became from a guy who didn't believe in anything, became a minister in Ohio. I saw it on the Travel Channel or something like that. And I was like, I gotta get this guy on my show. I read his book. I said, I gotta get him on my show. Yeah. Well, then it was with a group of guys and stuff, and I got mad at them because, and when I started off, I was just a voice. I'm just doing the intros and stuff like that. And, they drove the show. So I did, this is The Chosen, heard only on Talktainment Radio, and I say, with your hosts, Brother D, Master Aha, Sebek the Analyst and R&D Engineer, Marshall Barnes. I do that and stuff, and commercial breaks. But it seemed to me that they wanted to talk amongst themselves, and I wanted to be guest driven, so I got a guest for them and stuff. Kind of looked like I was overstepping my bounds, and then when they didn't read the book, it pissed me off. But it did and it didn't. I got to ask the bulk of the questions. And then it was like, I don't know, from some went on there and stuff. I think there was a dispute, and we were supposed to have a team meeting, all of a sudden they didn't come to the meeting. I was there by myself, and the person we were doing in the studio, he said, well, you can quit it or you can do it by yourself. Now it's like, when do I start?
I can start immediately.
Right. I said, oh, we're going to have to change that music. They'll put the music, go slow, and the break music's got to be this and stuff. We'll work on a new intro, and and my tagline was, doubt if you dare, but believe if you have the courage, because you're listening to The Chosen, heard only on Talktainment Radio.
I like it.
That was my little tagline coming in and out. And I said I had the music speed up a little faster. I said I wanted to count down because I was a fan of Lost in Space. And I said when the first season, there was kind of a robotic music. And then the person that wrote the first music, which people don't realize they knew, he called himself Johnny Williams at that time. But he was John Williams, the famous composer, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Superman.
Oh, really?
Yes, he called himself Johnny Williams. So he did, when you hear the opening of Lost in Space, that's him. So, And then he did I think it's the second or third season, it did a countdown. Dr. Smith or Will would get into trouble, and Dr. Smith would be screaming, and then the numbers that come, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it's this big orchestra music behind it. I said, I want to count down like that, something like that, come in and stuff. So I did that, and I started getting guests. First, it was like the struggle to get guests, and then people were sending me books and stuff. So I wanted everything: cryptozoology, spontaneous human combustion. I was like, hey, anybody can get on there. So let's go.
Yeah, we're about the same way.
Right.
We try to get every kind of guest we can. It's funny you mentioned spontaneous combustion. We talked about that before too. But I was wondering,
did you have Larry Arnold on there?
No, it was just Kelly and I. We were just talking about it. We didn't have a guest. Okay. But at what point, or have you had a paranormal experience that kind of triggered their interest in this?
I used to have what I thought were dreams when I was young, and I think it was in that house, but that I'm not too clear on. When I got older, I was very clear on one that I had, where I was in a apartment that was converted, and I think it was in the 20s, because it had like a marble floor, and the guy had converted it into efficiencies. And because I knew it was from like the 20s, because it had the Murphy bed there you pull down.
Oh, out of the wall?
Yeah, he did kitchenettes. You pull the Murphy bed out the wall and stuff. I was afraid to sleep in it because I was a fan of the Three Stooges. I always think about going in up there and get out, But when I moved in, I didn't have a bed, and I was waiting for a futon to come. I said, so the mattress looks okay and stuff. And I said, I can sleep on this tonight, put a sheet, cover it. Slept on it. I used to hear walking in the halls, and then I look out, because it's that marble floor, and I look out, and it's like, there's nobody there, and stop walking, So this was terrifying. I was laying in the bed, the Murphy bed, and I was asleep. And it's a kitchenette, and you can see it's 5 windows. You can see the whole place, the bathroom and stuff, from laying in that area. So there's no spot you could really miss. So I'm laying there, and I got my back turned to the door. And it feels like somebody sits on the edge of the bed. Because I woke up, it felt like somebody sat on the edge of the bed. And I said, what the hell? It wasn't the best of neighborhoods. I said, somebody broke in, and he has the nerve to sit on the edge of the bed. And I felt the person laying down next to me, because it's like queen size Murphy. So my heart is beating out my chest. I was like, I'm gonna have to fight. I said, but roll out the bed, turn around and get this person, it's like, popped up on adrenaline. I turn around, there's nothing there. There's this shape like somebody is lying there.
Wow.
And then
wow. No way.
Kelly is
knew it
out
was
of that room
haunted,
so
yeah.
fast.
I knew it was haunted then. Of course, I didn't go to sleep. I was up to daylight. Then I had another example where something happened to me. I said, I'm not going to be on this Murphy bed. This is whoever's bed. I'm not going to be on this Murphy bed anymore. So I got a futon. So I'm laying on my futon. I was working late then and stuff. It might have been midnight because I was doing this shift from this other job. And I'm sitting there and when you feel like you're going to sleep, you're about to go into sleep, dream sleep. And I heard somebody call my name and said, Ron. And I was like, I must be dozing off about the dream, not really worried about it. And they said, Ron. And I felt the breath on my ear. And I sat up and nobody's there. And again, I was like, oh my God, this building's haunted. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kelly wouldn't spend much time in there, and I'd be trying to investigate.
Not at all. Not the place for me. Not at all.
No, and I was asked to places that are haunted when I had the show, and I said, no, I don't do that. I don't know what I'll be bringing back or nothing. That's like, no. Yeah.
That's true.
So, from being a host on the show for all those years, can you share with us some of the best stories that you've ever heard, kind of paranormal stories that you've heard?
Somebody wrote a book about her mother being possessed. She was in Ohio. And this is probably one of the scariest books I've ever read, too. And and how she had to deal with it as a child. And the abuse of her father and everything and stuff. And it's a very interesting story. And I had her as a guest. She grew up in Columbus. And excuse me, getting over a cold. But I had her as a guest. And she was talking about her father and how abusive he was. And I think she was like 7. And her mother there was an actual possession, and she knew it then. And she talked about, her father was like, he would beat up on her mother, but he stopped because when she became possessed, she told him she had cards that day, and he had cards, and she was telling him that's an ace, that's this. Then he said, "Oh, you think you're something?" And because he was nasty to her, and she's like, "Don't get hurt today." And he got in a car accident. Wow. So he's still trying to act tough. But then he tells, "I'm not going to sleep with her anymore." And he puts the little girl in the room with her. "You're sleeping with your mom." So he puts her in the room with her. And she's the one that's writing the book, telling about her brothers and the abuse. And she said that her mom would be talking to somebody in the room, multiple voices. And she tried to act like she was asleep. But what got out of the room is she's sitting up there, hearing these multiple voices, trying to turn away, act like she's asleep. And mom is responding to her. So she knows she's not crazy because people are responding back.
Right.
And she said, "What about the girl? She's woke." She said, "Don't worry about my daughter," And she's like, got bolted out the room then. Kind of like,
yeah, no kid.
Out the room. I'm not sleeping with her anymore. And mom would like to go to places like the stores like Salvation Army and stuff like that, where you give back clothes and stuff like that, or yard sales. She'd get jewelry. This person is dead. This person is still alive. This person, So it never helped her. She tried with an exorcism. It never helped her. She ended up dying and stuff. And there was something looked like this huge black thing in her stomach, or cancerous or whatever. But I asked her, hey, was there anything? And I don't know if she put it in the book. I said, was there any unusual hole or something around? Because they had a house there. She said, yeah, in the backyard. The sinkhole opened up and said, Dad put sand and they had the boys put sand in it and stuff like that. It opened up again. They just put boards over it, and said, when you play back here, don't go in this area and stuff like that. That was an opening for whatever was coming and came in. And she said she got involved with this weird church. These 3 ladies came in one day and started talking to her. And she said it wasn't like a church because the kids would be somewhere else and they'd be with them. They were strange ladies. I think that evil brought them there and they were able to connect with her. And she said it wasn't like a church because they would be downstairs, we'd be upstairs. But they tried to say it was like a church. So it was one of the most interesting. My house, perception of reality. I have a signed copy, but that was very interesting, and I believe the story too.
Wow.
Kelly, I talk so much about the title of the name of the show is That's Some Crazy Shit. These people go to literally hell, and people may not believe that it's happening to them for whatever reason. That's why we say it's crazy. I mean, can you imagine if that was happening to you, Cal?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Not at all. Wow. How long did you host the show?
I think it was about 5 or 6 years that I ran the course with it. So it was every Monday night at 8 and stuff. So just interesting that I had like this taste for just wanting to know everything. It started when I was a kid, and I know one of the first things I bugged my mom about seeing and stuff I just had to see was the UFO incident, 1975. Just like dating myself. There were probably 4 channels on TV, and that's when it was on NBC and ABC.
Yeah, CBS, that was it.
Yes, it may be like channel 43 and like a local something. So there's 3 channels on it. And the TV actually went off at night. So,
Yep.
And I was 13 and they did the promo for it because it was like the movie of the week, a movie made especially for you by NBC. And they said the UFO incident. They showed the preview of it. We're like, oh!
I can feel
There's a black man that was taken by a UFO. I gotta see it. I'm 13, My mom was like, well, that comes on at 9. You're really supposed to be in bed by, I was like, please let me watch it. Please let me watch it. She said you're gonna be asleep on the couch anyway, and so. No, I was there to 11 to the end. James Earl Jones was playing Martin Hill. And Estelle, I can't think of her name, she was playing Betty Hill and stuff. So I was like amazed by that. And I was like, oh my God.
It sounds like we had the same experience because I was the same way. And I didn't realize at the time, I was too young to realize the implication of them being an interracial couple. Mm-hmm. Not until I got older, I realized, for them to come forward with that story, during that time, I was pretty brave of them.
And they didn't tell on them. You know who broke HIPAA law was the hypnotist. Yes, he told on them. I mean, Barney was involved. He's a postman, but he was involved in the civil rights movement. With this, and stuff. They didn't know what happened to them and everything. But then the proof, we know where the Greys live because of that story. Zeta Reticuli, because there is, when they had Barney under most of the time. Barney was an ex-vet, big guy. They had him under most of the time. But Betty was walking around asking questions. They was like, where do you come from? And they showed her the star map. And they said, where are you on this map? She said, I don't know. They said, why should we tell you where we come from if you don't know where you are? you know. But on the hypnosis, he had her draw. Then they kind of said had her draw the star system. Of course, they said there's no such star system and everything and stuff. Years later, Ohio teacher that's into astronomy and stuff, you know, matching stuff to the new maps because they have stronger telescopes then. Matches it, Zeta Reticuli, you know, where the grades
exactly where she said it was supposed to be, huh?
Yeah, it matched up just the way it was. So
I think it's it. I think it's her granddaughter or niece,
Kathleen
turned out
Marta,
to be an investigator.
Yes, she was left that whole thing, you know, to tell the story and stuff, you know. And I had her on the show, and she talked about the night that, you know, she was talking about things to her mother, what happened to her when she was a kid. And it's something they did not want to come out. So you can't say, oh, they just wanted to get stories and stuff, get this out and stuff.
Right.
And something they did not. And when I had a show, what I would tell them, and I knew I had to get rid of the other guys that were there, you know, because I was like, because I got that first guest, I was like, they're not really serious about this. And they wanted to say things on the break that I said, don't ever say that. I said, you let the audience decide. Let the audience decide. Because we don't know what's true and what's not. How many times have we called people kooks and we found that they're not kooks?
Right.
And I said, yes, we can never say that. And I had a guest he was kind of worried and stuff. He talked about the cure for AIDS were out there and stuff. The government had put it out there and stuff to kill a certain amount of people. So he said he was in the Inquirer of the Sun. He said,
there's two, both of them.
Yeah, he said, you have to excuse me, I'm in the Inquirer of the Sun. And I said, that means nothing to me. And I said, that means nothing to me because here's the thing. I said, you ever watch Men in Black? And the Tommy Lee guy goes, I need information.
Right.
Will Smith is like, what are you doing? He said, in that rag, he said, yeah, and here we put the truth with the lies.
Yeah.
This information is out there, you know, to make people look crazy.
No,
right.
It's true.
It's true.
It really is.
And I said, you know, we don't know about this. And so, you know, I believe I said one of the biggest lies, and nobody truly fell for it, was the UFO crash on Mark Brazel's farm. UFO, nobody fell for it. You're a captain. I don't know the difference between a ship and a balloon.
And he's an intelligence officer.
Don't know.
Yeah.
This is the first time that they looked up and they said, we don't know how to handle this. And it was handled wrong. But if you're not, and I think he was on Coast to Coast, and his son said, he admitted on his dying bed, they made a fool out of him. I know the difference, you know. I know the difference. But you had to do that. And I said, if you don't believe that UFOs are out there, you looked up in one of the Army books, they have this thing about dealing with the UFO crash and how to deal with the locals.
I've heard that.
It's in the Army book, handbook, because the first thing is, who's going to get there before us? Just like they thought it was a plane or something. The locals. We got to deal with the fire department. We got to deal with the EMT. We got to deal with Billy Bob on his farm.
Yeah.
They're going to be there before us. So we have to put it in our book how to deal with this. If you don't believe me, you said that it's never happened, why would you have it in the book?
Exactly. Because there's got to be some kind of protocol. They had to learn from something.
Right. We got to move the locals out as soon as this happens, you know, and we got to tell them what we're going to tell them. The Men in Black, I definitely believe that's true. People have said they've had visits.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We did a show about Men in Black.
We did. Never met anybody that's actually encountered the Men in Black, but we did gather stories about those who have encountered the Men in Black. And I think, yeah, it's really interesting.
Who is it? Who has the biggest secrets to keep? And I said the government. You know.
Yeah.
It's key. If they want to. I had a guy. He made so much sense. He said, "Ron, if that did not happen, the crash did not happen. Think about the leaps and jumps that we have made since that crash from the back engineering. It's like, you know, it's jets and stuff going on and stuff. My watch tells me about my body. I got more computer technology in this that went to the moon.
Right.
It was like, you know, I get friends that'll joke around and they say, you know, we'll get in an argument about something. Yeah, but that happened as I said. Only if we had some type of piece of technology that we can ask correctly and they'll tell us all about it. What happened? We don't have encyclopedias anymore.
You don't need them, man. You don't need them. So, have you ever read the book The Day After Roswell?
No, I have not read that one.
It tells the exact story you're talking about. Colonel Corso was in charge of that unit, and you know, it's basically what you just said. You know, he said they found technology that they were gradually releasing to the public, you know, so that they could develop it. And you know, it's interesting. You know, this guy was a high level intelligence officer too, and you know, people dismiss it like, oh, it can't be. You know, well, he's in the intelligence. He's a colonel in the intelligence service. He knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's seeing. You know, I think it's interesting that they dismiss it. You know,
It's just remarkable the technology leaps and bounds since then. And they say this is the biggest technological age since then. There've been more leaps and bounds and stuff. And I say in my short lifetime, I'm like. Cable was a big thing growing up. Cable was free. There's no cable.
Yeah, no.
You can watch stuff on your phone and stuff. I remember watching the Jetsons, and the kid was watching something on his watch. Yeah, smart watches and stuff. I don't know. My phone tracks me. It reminds me of stuff. I said, you can't do a crime anymore. My phone. I don't know how it's set to do that. Just that. How was your dinner at whatchamacallit rated? I didn't tell you to follow.
Yeah, I went there.
Yes.
It's so funny. Ron, we are about out of time, but thank you so much for coming on the podcast and sharing your stories with us. We definitely appreciate it. I mean, we talk about this kind of stuff all the time, don't we, James?
We do.
Can I tell you people about my book?
Absolutely.
Oh, yes, please.
Go ahead.
Okay. I have a fictional book out called Healers. It's 3 tales of miracles, angels, and lost souls.
And where can we get that, Ron?
Yeah, angels. You can get it at Amazon. You get it other booksellers, Walmart, but Amazon has the best price for it. Also, I have a novella. This 99 cents called Island Alien. I went to Putin Bay at a time there to say, you know what? An alien saucer can land here. So I kind of saw, you know, wrote about that, and it's 99 cents novella, but this one is 260 some pages, 3 stories about ordinary people that encounter angels and how it changes their life. It's fictional work, but it did a lot of work because I've had guests talk about angels and stuff, angel encounters, which just interests me a lot. So.
Perfect. Wow. Thank you so much. We'll be sure to put the link in the podcast description so that if somebody wants a copy of the book, we'll definitely link them to it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate you.
You know, I remember watching that Betty and Barney Hill movie when I was a kid. And like I told him, I didn't realize the importance of them being interracial at the time until I was older. And then it was like, at that time, you wouldn't want to bring unwanted attention to yourself.
Not at all.
Yeah, and So when people say they did it for attention, that's BS. Then they say, well, they did it for money. Well, they never made any money off of it.
No, who would pay him?
Well, that was the thing, for appearances or whatever, lectures or whatever. I'm just assuming, because that's what people say, these are the reasons why they would do stuff like that. And then when you listen to those tapes, Barney, man, you could hear the fear in his voice. He's terrified. So, yeah.
And she's walking around, and the star system that she drew, guess what? Very real, exists.
Yep. They found it, I don't remember how many years after, but yeah, that was the thing. And so, how do you explain that? How do you explain she finds or she knows the location of a star that we haven't even discovered yet?
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah,
or we know, or what did he say? We know where the Greys live.
We probably do.
And then just his ghost story freaked me out. The something laying in the bed with you.
Oh, I know.
Woo! Sorry, Al, I'm done. Deuces. Not hanging out. Wouldn't lay back down. Not staying in this apartment, this house, whatever. I am out. Bags packed. You ain't got to tell me twice. Nah. Done.
You can come sleep on my couch.
Hey, no, I cannot, because your house is haunted.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. Well, you would be welcome.
When he said that, I'm done. He's better than me, because I wouldn't have done all that. No.
Yeah, but that's scary shit. I wouldn't have done that shit either, right?
Yeah, that was scary. So that was a cool interview. That was very interesting. I like that. So thank you, Ron, for coming on the show and sharing your experiences with us. Are you ready for some random bullshit?
I'm ready. Right. I got a question for you.
Do it.
All right. So you have to get rid of one DC character out of Justice League. You have to get rid of one Marvel character out of Avengers. Who are they?
On the DC side, I'm surprised you don't know who I'm going to get rid of.
Well, I'm telling tell the listeners, they don't know.
But you know.
I know.
I'm getting rid of Superman. Don't like Superman, never have. Superman, you're out of there.
All right, so Superman's gone.
Superman's gone. And when we come over to Marvel, who do we want to get rid of in the Marvel world?
No, it has to be on the Avengers.
Who do we want to get rid of from the Avengers? I think we can get rid of Captain America. Yeah, he's got to go. Captain America, you're out of there.
Boy, you picked some big ones, Chloe.
Hey, not real big fans of either, so they got to go.
All right, what you got for me?
Oh, I had to have one for you.
You said, well, not that same question, but you said you'd think of a question.
All right, I would. I am. I got it. All right. Thinking about it right now.
I could see, yeah.
Here it comes. Oh, James, you're making this so hard for me. And I'm on the spot, too. Okay. Would you... Would you...
Dun, dun.
Do you think you could become a full vegan? No dairy products, no eggs, no bread, no meat, just vegetables and protein for a full 30 days.
As I laugh hysterically.
Full 30 days. I'm talking full on vegan. Full on. Like, I'm talking not even milk, buddy.
Now, see, I love my milk.
I know you do. So yeah.
I wouldn't even make 30 minutes.
Hard to be vegan, huh?
Hell yeah.
You know, they say that we're not supposed to eat meat at all, but we do. Too late.
Yeah, but they say eating meat is what helped trigger the growth of our brains and made it so we weren't apes anymore.
And I gotta ask, who is they?
I saw that on National Geographic.
So National Geographic, but who is they at National Geographic?
Well, I don't remember the names of the doctors. I'm sorry. I'm
okay.
glad I remembered National Geographic.
Well, that's what they say though. I had read someplace where we're not even supposed to eat meat at all, but bacon's delicious. I'm sorry, it really is.
I love bacon. I do love some bacon.
Man, bacon is good.
You can add bacon to everything.
Pretty much, bacon goes with everything.
Yeah, well, maybe not. Okay, so here's the question: what does not bacon go with? I'm saying ice cream.
That's a good one. Bacon doesn't go with. Well, I've seen bacon on donuts before, so if you've ever been to Voodoo Donuts, they've put bacon on donuts, so I can't even say that. Bacon doesn't go with the Snickers bar. Or does it?
Yeah, or does it? Everything goes with Snicker bars. That's 2 winners right there, man.
Does it? I don't know. Somebody's got to try it and let me know.
We got to get your daughter, Chef Bella B, to experiment for us.
Does it? That could be the new hot thing, huh? Bacon and a Snickers bar infused together.
Serious.
Might be delicious. Might be onto something. I don't know.
Because you got to get the bacon crispy without melting the Snickers.
Ooh, and there is the skill part of making the, what would you call it?
Bacon?
It's bacon and it's Snickers, so it'd be a Bickers.
Or a snakin'.
Or a snakin'. I like that even better. Snakin'. Yeah. A Snickers and bacon snakin'.
All right, listeners. We're working on this.
And while we're working on this, you can go check us out on social media. We are on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and yes, you can even listen to us on YouTube. We are on multiple platforms to listen to the podcast. You'd know because you're listening to us right now on such platform. James, we are everywhere. Next week, we have yet another riveting guest. More crazy shit in store. Season 9. Pretty impressive.
That is impressive.
Pretty impressive. And if you guys have been on for 9 years, a season for us is 13 weeks. Take a month or so off, come back 13 weeks, month or so off. So we've done that now a total of 9 times.
So we are over 100 episodes and hitting a year and a half, people.
And that's pretty damn good. Yeah?
Yeah, I think so
too, yeah. All right. And on that note,
keep your minds open, people.